Jagrata and Jai Masters. You can make life, growth, spirituality as complicated as you want, or you can really get clear and see what's going on. Once you see what's going on, you will find your way out. But if you're messing around with techniques and concepts and views and just complicating the whole darn thing, you may never find your way out because of the complexity you created. How simple can one make it? Like this whole be here now mindfulness thing, the power of the present moment, etc. You all know about it, much more than you think you do. You don't need to be taught it. You're just not paying attention. So let's take a simple situation that you've all been in. Let's say you really love somebody a lot, and you have this opportunity for closeness, for intimacy, for hugging, just being one-on-one there together. Well, the idea is that you in there, who's always in there, but not always feeling loved and not always feeling comfortable, not always feeling that they're getting what they want, there's always kind of problems in there, that you in there get to experience a reprieve. You get to feel comfortable. You get to enjoy the moment you're experiencing. What does that mean? Let's say that somebody hugged you, and instead of you experience the warmth and the beauty of releasing into that hug, you found yourself saying, well, I don't know if they want to hug me. I don't know. I wonder if they have something behind it. How much fun would it be? None at all, would it? Why? Listen to me. Under those circumstances, you are not experiencing the hug. You're experiencing your mental discussion about the hug. In fact, you are being distracted by your mental discussion about the hug. Fair enough? Big difference, isn't it? Which would you rather have? That or a sense of complete melting into the moment and having the moment overwhelm your personal self and just feel oneness in that moment? That's what it's supposed to be about, isn't it? That's what's going on there, right? It's not just a hug that can create that presence in the moment. You can call it presence in the moment. What I want to call it is non-distraction from the moment. How's that? If I say don't be distracted from the moment, at least you got a handle. You may not know how to do it, but at least you got a handle on the fact that, oh, my consciousness, my awareness, my being is involved in something other than the hug. Is involved in my thoughts about the hug. Is involved in my fear about relationships, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? That's a hug. What about you go on a vacation to Hawaii and you're on top of the mountain and you're looking out over the sunset. Oh my God, everything you ever dreamt of in your whole life is gorgeous, it's purple, it's orange, and the sun is setting, right? You're not supposed to be there in your normal way. You're not supposed to be saying, oh, what a very pretty sunset. I wonder if I'll get to, maybe I should build a house here. That would be kind. Then you're not experiencing the sunset. You're being distracted by your mental dialogue from the sunset, as opposed to, wow, and you're just pulled into, your whole consciousness is pulled into the awesome beauty of what's before you. So do you hear what I'm saying? That is spirituality. It's like either your consciousness, your awareness of being, is experiencing the moment you are in, or you are being distracted from experiencing the moment you're in because your mind is not the moment you're in. It's not the outside moment anyways, okay? It's literally creating thoughts and feelings and all kinds of stuff. So if your consciousness is distracted, pulled into that, you're obviously not fully experiencing what's in front of you, which is nicer to stand there and get literally, we call it melting. You melt, your consciousness melts into the sunset or the ocean or whatever it is. It fully is engaged. It fully is, there's no separation. I've just explained to you what Patanjali means, that there is a state in which subject and object become one. In the deep states, he says, subject and object become one. Now that sounds mystical. You just did it with the sunset. That's what it means. the subject, you, the consciousness, and the object of consciousness, the sunset, the hugging, whatever it is, there's no separation anymore. It's not like I'm here. Oh, what a pretty sunset. I wonder if I ever see one like this. No. Then you're not in the sunset, are you? You're in your mind, right? And there's a sunset out there. You know what you are? You're in your mind, but your mind is talking about the sunset. That's as close as you got. That's not very close, is it? And it doesn't feel the same, does it? So just understand that no matter what you've been taught, all this spiritual mumbo jumbo, that's what it's about. It's about the ability for your consciousness to experience fully. What does it mean fully? Completely. What does that mean? There is no distraction. There is only oneness. All right? It is the one-pointed oneness of your consciousness. I really like, instead of saying you're merged in the moment, you're not distracted from the moment. That's so easy to see. But you are distracted from the moment. When? Always. It's rare that you are not distracted from the moment. Those are what Maslow calls peak experiences. And he says you have to be done with all the lower ones in order to have a peak experience. You have to be done with wanting a house. You have to be done with wanting to be loved. If you want to be loved, you're not hugging. You're wanting to be loved. It's in there saying, oh my God, I've waited so long for this. Well, wait longer because you're not experiencing it. You're being distracted from the experience. Therefore, you're not fully experiencing the experience. Spirituality, deep spirituality, is about you have reached a state. And before we're done, I'll talk to you about how. But first I want you to understand what it is. You have reached a state that when you're in any moment, you are in that moment. Okay? What if that was it? That every moment was a hug. Every moment was a sunset. Why is a sunset different than a sunrise? Why is mid-noon different than sunset or sunrise? Because mid-noon doesn't distract you. It's not special. The sun's always there, so you just go about all your mental panorama while the sun's too hot. That's what you do at mid-noon. Oh my God, it's hot. It's supposed to be 103 next week. And you're just sitting there and you're not experiencing the moment. You're being distracted. I don't even want to say you're experiencing your mind. You're being distracted by your mental panorama. So there is no oneness. There's a scattering of consciousness. And because you followed me so well, I'll go very quickly. It's not that you're distracted by your mind talking about one thing. It's got layers, doesn't it? It multitasks. So it's sitting there saying, while you're supposed to be experiencing the sunset, God, what if I can have this all the time? I wonder if I can move to Hawaii. No, I can't afford it. It's my job. Oh, I don't want to. At the same time that's going on, there's this gnawing fear underneath. Did she go out with him? Can I trust her? What? Something happened, was a relationship 3 months ago. It's still going on in there, isn't it? God, how will I ever forgive myself? My mother died and I didn't get there. I was late. Oh my God. If I only hadn't. You got a lot of stuff going on in there, don't you? You got a lot of distractions going on in there. And every single one of them is keeping you from experiencing your life. It's just noise going on inside your head that your consciousness pays attention to or is distracted by. I like the word distracted. I've decided that distracted is a very spiritual word because it tells you a lot. You know what it means. It distracts you. But if it didn't distract you, then it could talk and you wouldn't listen to it. There are lots of things don't distract you. You understand that? If you live in New York, there are lots of things that don't distract you because there's lots of noise, right? You just go about your business. Okay? So you could theoretically, we'll get there later, have the mind saying those things and not distract you. Now, you know what the deep question is? Would it be saying them if you don't pay attention and you don't know it's saying them? Let's say they didn't distract you. How do you know if it's going on? It didn't distract you. It's the old, if a tree falls in a forest and no one's there, does it make any noise? You'll never know. Like people say, I was so deep in meditation, my mind stopped. I don't do this with you because I like you to be like that. But if I were playing, I would say, how do you know? How do you know? Well, because there were no thoughts. How do you know if there were no thoughts or if you just weren't paying attention to them? And what I always add, if I tell you that, is don't go find out. So the net result is the mind is going to make noise. We'll talk why in a minute, but it does. It is talking. It is doing things. And the world is doing things. Which one are you going to pay attention to? You're going to find what you call the most beautiful moments in your life, peak experiences, that which makes life worth living, is when you paid attention to the moment instead of your mind. Because what you did it for, you did a different one. You did a different one. Do you understand that? It's not that the thing itself, a sunset itself, is not somehow nicer than a sunrise, or nicer than noon, or nicer than a waterfall, or nicer than a boy, or a girl, or a baby, or death, or birth. They're not different. Oh, now we're going to go deeper. They're not different. They're things you experience. You didn't create them. Nobody gave you a menu, 3 from column A and 2 from column B, right? The world is creating experiences, yes or no? How long has it been doing it for? 13.8 billion years. It is creating, the world creates experiences. Do you do it? Do you create all the experiences? A lot going on right now. You doing it? You must be busy. You're not doing any of it. Nobody is. There are things going on absolutely everywhere. Good, wonderful. Why don't you experience the one that's in front of you? You can't experience the rest of them. Why don't you at least experience the one in front of you? Right? Because you're being distracted by your mind and your emotions. You're being distracted by your mind and your emotions. Right? There is a world going on. You are going to experience part of it, a very small part of it, the part that unfolds in front of you. Do you understand that the moment unfolding in front of you has nothing to do with you? Right? Why are you willing to accept that the moment behind you has nothing to do with you? The moment on Mars has nothing to do with you? The moment in South Florida and someplace you've never been that's happening right now has nothing to do with you, right? All over you're willing to accept those moments have nothing to do with you, then how can the moment in front of you have something to do with you? It's just like every other moment. There is no difference in the moment in front of you and the moment to the right and the moment to the left and the moment to every single moment. They're just moments. There are moments that got created by creation. They are created by the laws of creation. And the one in front of you is no different than the 100 billion zillion of them that are not in front of you. But boy, it sure seems different, didn't it? It sure seems really different. The one in front of me seems really different, right? Why? Because my mind and my emotions have something to say about the moment in front of me. I like it, I don't like it. It's going a little too slow. I wish it would go faster. I don't even want to be here. Why is she talking? She's standing too close. I don't want to stand so close. All right? And that has something to do with you. That you get distracted by your mind and your emotions. Now it feels personal. The world is not personal. The world is not personal. It's just the unfoldment of the forces that cause it to be the way it is. There. It's very simple. If you could get that, my God, you'd be liberated. You'd be free. The moments are unfolding everywhere. You're just here and they're passing by. What's the big deal? Nothing. So you call a beautiful day and a beautiful life and a beautiful moment when you have those rare moments when less distraction of yourself is taking place. Oh, I went rafting. Oh, my God, it was unbelievable. There was this moment in the rafting where I saw the water swirl off my oar. And it's like, whoa. It's just I felt can't explain it. It was like God was there. Yeah, that's right. You merged in the moment. You had a deep spiritual experience. Some people say, that's my form of meditation. It is. You understand that? There's nothing wrong with that. That's the truth. So it doesn't happen so often, does it? Okay. But those moments are special, aren't they? I'm telling you, you are supposed to be experiencing those moments every second of your life. It does not take going on vacation. It does not take being hugged. It does not take seeing a sunset. It takes being willing to experience the moment and not be distracted by what's going on inside of you. Therefore, everything can do it. Every single experience that unfolds in front of you is a phenomenal experience. Compare it to the emptiness of all of space. Right? I told you, if I send you into outer space and have you float around out there for a while, right? And there's nothing there, nothing. Do you understand that? Don't think outer space is crowded. It's not crowded at all, right? There's nothing but black, dark, empty space forever. And every once in a while, there's a little tiny star. So if I had you up there, floating out there with nothing, and all of a sudden a roach came by, it would make your day. Come back, all right? It's like you can get off on anything. Anything, everything. Everything is an experience that can touch the depth of your being, as much as a hug, as much as a kiss, as much as a sunset, as much as getting an A, as much as applauding because you did so well. These are times that you don't get distracted by your inner garbage. Any time you don't get distracted by your inner garbage is a deep spiritual experience. You know, you use words like this. Ready? It touched the depth of my being. Music can do it, can't it? Music can pull you out of yourself, but it doesn't always do it, does it? Oh, here comes the part I like. Don't worry. It won't pull you out if you're doing that, all right? But sometimes it pulls you out, right? And you sit there and say, oh my God, you cry. The music, it touched the depth of my being. That's what art is supposed to do. Touch the depth of your being, all right? What does that mean, it touched the depth of my being? It means I didn't get distracted by the garbage going on inside my head. That distraction is what I want you to focus on tonight. That distraction is stealing your life. That distraction is making it so you can't have peak experiences because you're too busy having the you experience. You're too busy getting pulled into the not so much fun that your mind has to say. And even if your mind is saying nice things, oh, this is beautiful. Oh, here comes that part again. I love it. I don't care. I don't care if it's saying negative things or positive things. You are not experiencing what's going on. You're experiencing what your mind is saying about what's going on. Okay? That's why positive thinking, I teach it. It's a very good thing. Positive thinking is better than negative thinking. Why? If you're going to get distracted by something, I would rather have it distracted by, oh, I like this. This is fun. This is really nice. Then I hate this. I'd kill myself. I didn't want it. But positive thinking is not all that high. Why? Because you're still thinking. You're still being distracted by your thoughts. You're not experiencing what's happening. You're being pulled into what you have to say about what's happening. God, that's the topic and the theme of everything I'm trying to get across to you tonight. You're either experiencing the moment or you're being distracted by what your mind and emotions have to say and feel about the moment. And I know you're real mad at me. Say, your emotions, they're important. They're really, they distract you a tremendous amount. Spirituality is not an emotion. It's a merger with the moment. When you become one with the moment, there's no emotion. It's just melted. You're in. I don't know. Talk about it. There's no you. How about that? The entire sense of you is gone. And where's the emotion? Emotions are things that your heart creates. Thoughts are things your mind creates. And now you get distracted by those things. So just be fair with emotions when I tell you there are no emotions when it's said and done. There's just merger. There's oneness. That's because there's no you. There's just complete merger into the moment. All right? Like I said, when you're hugging and you're really lost in it, there's not an emotion. There's just a oneness. Same thing with sunset. Same thing with all these beautiful things, with the music. Psychology teaches such a big deal with emotions, and I like to give them credit, because you can't handle your emotions, therefore you suppress your emotions, and when you suppress things you can't handle, they rot down there, and they spread out, and they make a complete mess altogether. Therefore, one of the foundations of psychology is to feel your emotions, because you're better off feeling them, and they will teach you that. Do you understand that? You're better off feeling them and expressing them than you are suppressing them. You understand that? So let's fix that. And I'm all in favor of it. It's wonderful. It's great. They have all their techniques. Let's fix that. Let's get the emotions up. Learn to experience your emotions. Learn to express your emotions. Fair enough? You hear me say it? All right? That has nothing to do with transcending your emotions. Not suppressing. Transcending means they are not distracting me. I don't care if they're there or not. They're not distracting me. The whole of my being is in what I'm doing. I'm not worried about it. I'm not scared. I'm not needy. There's none of this personal stuff going on. I'm working. I'm playing sports. I'm playing music. The whole of my being is completely involved in what's happening there. There is no distraction by personal thoughts. There is no distraction by emotions. Now, you see the difference? All right? Yoga is high. It's high stuff. It's taking you to a whole other level. All right. So basically, we now understand the world is unfolding. It unfolds in front of you. At least part of it does. A very small part unfolds in front of you. The rest is all going on. It doesn't distract you one iota. It's all a universe that has existed for 13.8 billion years. It is going on everywhere. You happen to be conscious of one tiny, tiny moment of the whole thing, and you're making a big deal out of the thing. It's just unfolding. Things are the way they are because of the things that make them be that way. Guess what? That's science. What science does is say, well, let's get a little more complicated. Let's study what makes them be that way. But the net result is things are the way they are because of what made them be that way. The events that happened before this moment is what made the moment be the way it is. And guess what? You didn't do it. And if you did, it was 0.0000001% of an influence. Okay? The world is unfolding, and it's going on everywhere. I wish you could, if you could get it, I would just freed you. Every once in a while, somebody says, I got it. What? It has nothing to do with me. That is so liberating. That is so, I don't have to feel guilty, I have to feel scared, I have to prove myself. It's just, come on, man. You're not proving yourself to every other moment. Why prove yourself to this moment? So you don't care what the entire rest of the universe is doing right now, right? But you care about what you see. Why? Because what you see and hear, what's in front of you, causes your mind to start generating thoughts and your heart to start generating feelings, and you can't handle your thoughts and feelings, so they distract you, and the next thing you know, you're not living in this world. You're living inside your head. And because of that, you can't have peak experiences. And so you have to try to drink and drugs and go vacations and spend money and do something and do extreme sports and something exciting to try and pull yourself out of yourself for the rush. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just telling you, because we are distracted by ourselves, by our thoughts and emotions, we can't experience the world. We can't experience a loved one. We can't experience, you can't experience your family. You finally get a family, you come home, but you got to pay the mortgage and you got to do a thing and the kid gets sick. That's what's going on when you come home, not the experience of the beauty of the moment you've experienced. You get to the point where you realize this is not working. Well, that's where yoga and deep spirituality come in. So if you wake up and you realize what we just talked about, which is I'm in here, check. There's a world out there, check. I don't get to experience it. Why? Because I'm distracted by what's going on inside my mind. And every once in a while, a moment unfolds in front of me that somehow is so powerful to me, just the way it lines up with what I like and don't like, whatever it is, that the mind actually stops. And I get pulled into that moment. Maybe it's the hug, maybe it's the kiss, maybe it's the sunset. They call them peak experiences. You're in the zone, you're there. And that makes life worth living. Right? What spirituality is saying to you is it is supposed to be like that all the time. When you're driving your car, it's supposed to be a mind-blowing experience. You're going 70 miles an hour. It's like you don't feel it. You don't feel the speed. You don't feel anything. Why? Because you're not there. You're here. You're in your head. Your head is thinking about what you're going to do when you get there, and why did she say this, and what happened when I was 6, and why did that have to happen? I never liked my sister since she got the bicycle. Oh, man. Yes or no? All right. So all of spirituality is about, there used to be a song in the 60s, right? I don't sing very well, but I'll try, right? We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do, we gotta get out of this place. Girl, there's a better life for me and you. That's yoga. That's the song. You don't want to live like that the rest of your life and only experience a few moments and the rest of the time be caught inside of this mess that's going on inside your head. Now, have we got everybody's attention? All right. What am I going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? I am in here. Yes, I'm conscious. Yes, I am very distracted by what my mind has to say on a regular basis and what my emotions have to be, right? And yes, there's a world going out there, but rarely am I fully present in the world that's going on. I'm always about what my mind is saying about the world that's going on, and what my emotions are feeling, and what to do about it. Now, what do I do? Logic says the following. Now we'll go up a step. You have 3 choices. 1, create a world outside of you. That's a big joke, by the way. Create a world outside of you that distracts you more than your mind distracts you. Somehow get a whole lot of money and drive Ferraris and have lunch in Paris and just keep running as fast as you possibly can. Do you understand that? Try to think constantly, what can I have? What can I do? In relationships and this and food. Come on, baby, right? It's so neat to understand your senses, taste, touch, smell, interaction with others, right? These different things can be powerful. They can distract you from yourself. You can be served food, very rare, but you can be served food that you're talking, all of a sudden you put it in your mouth, you go, whoa, shut up. I want to eat. Yes or no? Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, does it? But this is so deep what we're talking about. That the power of the senses can distract your consciousness from your mind. Isn't that neat? And so on for your different feelings and emotions and sounds and so on, all right? So if you've noticed this, you could say that the meaning of my life, I want to have a deeper life, I need more of those experiences. I need somehow to buy a better stereo. I need to travel a lot, so I'm always seeing new things I've never seen before. You hear me? That's how most of the world lives. I'm going to tell you there's 3 solutions of how to make this thing work. One is that, an attempted solution of I need to get the more and more moments in front of me that are so powerful that they're like the sunsets and the hugs and the really good food and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And love can do it. Oh, love can definitely do it, right? If you fall in love with somebody for at least the first 5 minutes, it pulls you out, and all the emotions are so strong, and then they do something you don't like, then you start thinking about it. Is there the right person? I don't know. We're going to look too fast, right? And then all of a sudden it's not doing it so much anymore. There's all kinds of things that can unfold in front of you that can, at least temporarily, are powerful enough to distract you, the consciousness. That's who you are, the consciousness, the awareness of being, to pull your awareness into that thing. And when it does, you like it. You like it a lot. And so you try to create those moments. And that's what everyone's out there trying to do. That's one way to try to do it. Good luck. Go take a look. And nowadays, everyone's billionaires, right? See all these lists of billionaires. Go check out how many moments they have in total ecstasy. In total oneness, because you're not going to find the number goes up based on how many zeros you add. Well, what about if I looked really good, people were really attracted to me? Go to Hollywood and check out all the actors and actresses and see how many times they've been married and how they're doing and whether they do drugs or not and drink a lot or, right? I don't understand. Open your eyes. Okay? So there isn't any of this stuff that you're going to do. You listen to me. I'm not telling you not to do it. You try all you want. There's no way in the world you're going to manipulate the moments in front of you to be the way you want. Good luck. Right? We already said the moments have nothing to do with you. They are the result of all the forces that cause them to be the way they are. You're going to change that, are you? I don't think so. Right? You're going to feel like you're manipulating, controlling somebody or something. And you're going to find out you didn't do so well at that. Then when it's all said and done, they're back to the way they were. And like I'm going to dam up the Colorado River so it doesn't flow downstream anymore. All right? Well, you better stay busy for the rest of your life. Why? Because it may not flow downstream, but it's trying to. Find out how many people have to be on the Hoover Dam at all times, and they dam the thing back up, the 40s, 30s, 40s, right? It's going to keep going. Well, guess what? Make her behave the way you want and not know what she does when she's not with you, right? Anything you do to try to manipulate people, places, and things so that they will be the way you need them to be so you can get off, right? You ain't getting anywhere that way, are you? All right? You haven't changed anything. You just momentarily manipulated something. Let's do it this way. Let's say I put a lot of energy into making a moment be the way I want. Big deal. It'll be gone in a moment. There's a new moment every moment. How are you going to make them all be the way you want? Not a chance in the world. You're wasting your life. All right? So that is one way to try and solve this problem that you're not experiencing in your life, which is get the moments in front of you, as many as possible, in front of you to be so powerful, so strong, so whatever, that they pull you into them stronger than your mind's pull. They awe you. I don't know what word you want to say, all right? Okay, that's one way. The second way is that you sit there and try to control the mind instead of control the world. That is how to control the world, it's a whole arena, all right, that people teach you. This is the second one. Try to control your mind and your emotions so that they don't distract you when you're having an experience. I'm meeting you. I want to meet you. I don't want my mind worried about what you think of me. I don't want this. I don't want that. So I have to make the mind not do that. Good luck. If you think it was tough to control the world, wait till you try to control your mind. I tried for years. I learned early. You ain't controlling your mind. That's not the way it works. Why? Can we do that? Why is your mind so messy? Why does it keep talking all the time? Why does it react to every single thing that happens in front of you? I go through this with you almost every talk, right? Because it's not hard to understand. You have stored things inside your mind. Your mind's not empty. You stored things in there. Somebody talked to you. You didn't like what they said. You said hello to Sally. She didn't say hello back. You took a test and got a low grade in 5th grade. Things happened to you that you didn't like. And you didn't let them pass through. You stored them inside of you. You suppressed them. You repressed them. You resisted them. So they're still in there. You have stuff still in there from before? How much? I used to say as many stars as there are in the sky. Maybe. I don't know. You got a lot of stuff in there. It doesn't take much. All it takes, any experience you had that you didn't like, you suppressed. You stored it inside. So now if all that stuff is stored in your mind, it doesn't sit quietly. It wasn't comfortable stuff. That's why you pushed it away. It is trying to release. I swear to you, I'm doing this in 1 second. This is as deep as you're going to learn. Go into a bathtub and take a ball and push it down underneath the water. Okay, there it is, down, go away. It's coming back up. It does not want to be down there. That is not the natural way of forces. It's going to come back up, isn't it? I'm telling you, every single thing that you didn't want to have happened, somebody wasn't nice to you, it wasn't this, you like somebody, they went to somebody else. Oh, my, how about high school? You picked up a lot in high school, didn't you? High school's known for making a lot of those things, all right? And every single thing for your entire life, doesn't matter if you were 2 years old, every single thing that when it happened didn't make it through you, like we were talking about, it just wasn't an experience you had and it passed through. You resisted it. I don't want this to have happened. I don't like what it felt like. That wasn't fair. Whatever it was, use your will to hold it back so that it doesn't touch you fully. Remember we said the nice experience, it touched the depth of my being. You don't want the not nice experience to touch the depth of your being, do you? There's no way that's getting in there. You push it away. Okay? Just have somebody say one thing to you that you don't like. You just quietly take it. Just, oh, he says something I don't like. Okay, what's next? No, I don't think so. You go crazy inside. He can't say that to me. That's not fair. I'll get even with him. Wait, I didn't mean it. What are you doing? You're trying to block it so it doesn't come back and touch you fully. I want to keep it at a distance. He didn't mean it. He didn't really mean it. He couldn't have meant that. No, I know. He rationalized it away. Whatever it is, you play with it in there as an act of resistance. That is the same as pushing the ball down into the water. You are taking an energy that actually happened. It came into you by definition. If it is in you, it happened. But you don't want it to have happened. You can't make it not have happened. There's not a single thing anyone's ever done to make something not have happened. It happened. That's why it's in you. But you are resisting it. And I'm telling you, when you push it away, it wants to finish its journey through the universe. It wants to release. It keeps coming back up. It comes up in your dreams. It comes up during the day. And this is what all that talk is that's going on inside your head. It's all this garbage that you stored inside your mind and your heart because of your past experiences you couldn't handle. And so now they're trying to release. So now somebody's driving by in a car that reminds you of the car that your first girlfriend dumped you. And all of a sudden, this is 20 years later, the car drives by and you're crying. You push these powerful things, what the experience has a power. You pushed it away inside yourself. And it won't stay there. It doesn't stay there. And therefore it tries to come back up. And that's it. That's all of Freudian psychology. That's all of your life. That's why that talk inside your head goes on all the time. That's why it's usually negative. What goes on inside your head, the distraction all the time, I guarantee you, I don't even know you. I guarantee you it's mostly negative. Mostly meaning what, 95%? I don't like it. I don't know why I said it's raining. Oh, God, why is it to be raining? My birthday. Why is it raining on my birthday? Even God doesn't like me. Oh, that's just really nice thing to have going on inside your head. Everything is like this. He's cute. Well, I don't know. I don't want to talk to him. But he might not talk to me. And I really feel sensitive nowadays. That is not you. That is not you. That is your mind talking. You are the one that's aware. That's the greatest thing I can teach you. You are aware it's saying that, aren't you? That's why you're being distracted, because you're aware of it. Who are you? So first method of trying to have a nice life is try to manipulate and control the moments in front of you so they're strong enough to distract you from yourself. Do you understand that? Because that's what they're distracting you from, yourself, right? It's a competition. Is my mind going to catch my attention, or is this beautiful sunset going to catch my attention, or this love affair, or whatever the heck it is? Is it strong enough that I don't get distracted by what my mind is saying? So go out and try to do that. Good luck, because you ain't getting anywhere. 2, try to get it so that my mind doesn't do this. So my mind isn't distracting me. So my mind doesn't say these negative things. So this method of working with the mind so it's not so bothersome, that's good compared to leaving it alone. Sometimes that's all people can do is positive thinking or create a layer that helps them work with that. That's wonderful. All right, but it all falls in the category of, okay, I've learned not to try and make the world be the way I want because it's not going to be that way, all right? I don't want to get frustrated and freak out. 2, now I'm trying to work with my mind because this one's causing the trouble. I'm trying to get it so if it's going to distract me, it will distract me with nice things, etc. It's a whole package of stuff. It's like 7,000 million techniques that fall in that category. But I said there were 3 things. There's a third way to win this thing, to beat this thing, and it happens to be the highest. And it's the cleanest. but it takes some time to get ready to do it. What is that? The world's unfolding every second, everywhere, doesn't it? And your consciousness is going to experience it. The question is something going to distract you so you don't experience it, but instead you experience what's going on inside your head? So we said, yes, it's going to, so let's try to get the world a nice way to where it's strong enough that its distraction is greater than the distraction of myself within myself. Fine, that's method one. Method two, try to manipulate and control the mind so it says nice things, doesn't get distracted as much, etc., etc. Have fun, all right? Instead of fighting outside, you fight inside. What is the third method? It's so deep that people can't hear it. Learn to not get distracted. Don't change the outside so that it distracts you more than your mind. Don't try to change your mind so that it isn't something that bothers you. Deal with the self itself. Yoga deals with consciousness, not with mind and not with the world. It deals with consciousness, and it says, who's getting distracted? I am. I'm getting distracted. Is it possible that you can work with yourself, not your mind, and not the world and everybody else in it, but work with yourself, your sense of being, your sense of consciousness? So when the mind says, I don't like that, you don't get distracted by that. I told you could live in New York and not hear the traffic. It doesn't mean it's not going on. You learn to not be distracted by it. What does that mean? You read a book. It's a really good book. The kids are running around. There's a TV on. You don't get distracted. You're capable of not getting distracted. Maybe that's where you should be working. Then you don't have to work on the world to make it be something that's strong enough to distract you the way you want to be distracted. Now you don't have to work on the poor mind that has all this garbage in there it's trying to release. You're trying to do it anyways in layers, and it's very complicated in there, right? You work on the power of self. You work on the center. That's where Buddhism, all of them work. You work on the depth of your being. You are in there, and you are conscious, and you know you are. What is happening is the world is unfolding. Yeah, that's right, Sherlock. The world unfolds. There it is. Okay? And you are being pulled into it. You notice it. But then your mind is reacting. And it is distracting you so you don't get the fullness of the beauty of the experience of the moment. If all of that happened, but you learned, and I will teach you, it won't take me 3 minutes. There's no great technique here, right? It's just something you do inside yourself, all right? You learn, the mind says what it needs to say, but you don't need to go there. You don't need to be distracted by it. It's just like reading the book. People talk, you're not there. It's not distracting. Then all of a sudden, you can stay centered and clear. You can be here now. You understand that? The moment unfolds, whatever happens in the mind or the emotions, literally, I would like it to be that if I had a choice for you, because I care about you, would I choose that the world always unfolded nicely so you always enjoyed yourself? No. That's called conditional well-being. You're only okay as long as she treats you the way you want to be treated, and does not talk to anybody else, by the way. You're only conditioned that the moment has to be exactly the way you want to where you can enjoy it a little bit. I'm not going to pray for that for you, sorry. It doesn't work. And I'm not going to sit there and pray, I pray that her mind gets quiet and she learns to not have such a troublesome mind. Well, no, because your mind's going to at some point going to get upset. Something's going to happen. That's what I'm going to pray for. You learn how to not get distracted by your mind. You stay centered, clear, clean, and you get to enjoy the beauty of every moment that unfolds, because even if the moment unfolds and causes your mind to remember something, you don't get distracted by that. Now you're home. That's called becoming established in the seat of self. Nothing can pull you out. Your mind can't pull you out, and the world can't pull you out. Should you choose to focus on the world, you will have the full experience of the hug and of passionate work and of the sunset. Wherever you put your consciousness, there's a wholeness, a completeness. That's the teaching. That's the teaching of be here now. It's the teaching of mindfulness. That's what they mean, is you have the ability to put your consciousness somewheres and merge with it and not get distracted. If, however, you choose not to do that, what do you mean? You choose to allow the consciousness to remain seated in the depth of its being, to where the experience you're having is not the distraction of mind or even the involvement of the world in front of you. It is just a complete sense of oneness with your own being. That's deep meditation. That's deep samadhi. And then you'll start to understand that your being, your consciousness, has a nature, and its nature is Satchidananda, eternal conscious ecstasy. As you pull back and rest in the seat of self, how? By not being distracted, which pulls you out. There. It's very simple. Okay, how you do that, that's your business, all right? But that's what it means. It's not like, I'm distracted, I'm going to go back here anyways. No, you're distracted means you were pulled out of there. You have to not be distracted. You have to reach a point that you learn how to not be distracted by your mind, not be distracted by your emotions. And if you choose to, you put your consciousness on the world, but otherwise it doesn't distract you. That's what, again, if you study yoga, there's a thing called pratyahara, which is the ability to pull your consciousness within. They say it's like the tortoise pulling the legs inside the shell. You're able to pull your senses back in, your consciousness back in, so it's not distracted by the senses. Right? You can fully involve yourself in the moment in front of you. You should. It's beautiful. But you also have the ability to pull back, to pull yourself back into self, to where you're not pulled out by the distractions. And what do you experience? Ecstasy, sheer ecstasy. The most beautiful experience you ever felt in your entire life is what you are. That's what you are. In fact, every beautiful experience you ever felt is because you didn't get distracted by these lower things, and you were able to feel the fullness of your being, all right? That's there all the time, every single moment. The nature of your being is the most beautiful thing in the universe. You are a beautiful, beautiful being. So there are these two beautiful places in the universe. One is the seat of self, consciousness itself, undistracted consciousness. If it's not distracted, it's not pulled out of itself. It remains within itself. And a great power starts flowing inside of you, pulling you deeper, deeper within yourself. That's Shakti, all right? And it pulls so strong that you have to let go, and it pulls you into these beautiful places. That's one beautiful place in the universe. The other is there is no distracting of the consciousness from experiencing the moment in front of it. Be here now. And all of a sudden there's this oneness between you, the experiencer, and the experience you're having. And I'm telling you, every moment's magic. Right? Yogis fluctuate between the two. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one. They're both ecstasy. So what did we learn? We learned that you are in there, you are conscious, and you are being distracted by your own garbage that you stored inside yourself. But if you're not distracted, you have a beautiful experience outside. But I showed you 3 different ways to always have a beautiful experience, but only one works. So now, how do I do that? It's easy to talk about, not so easy to do. I could talk to you all about techniques, talk about all kinds of things. Here's what has to happen. That stuff you've stored inside of you throughout your entire life, you know what I'm talking about? Every single bad experience, every single fear, that's got to go. Why? That's what's causing this constant negativity to be coming up. All your fears and anxieties and judgments. What kind of fun is that? Why can't I just experience my life? Because you have a maniac inside of you, don't you? So what's the answer? Get it out. Can you imagine I have all that garbage in there? And you get to experience your life and not have it remind you everything ever went wrong or whatever it is? How do you get it out? I give you techniques. So my technique is very different than other people's. All right? I say to you, don't start with all the garbage you have in there. It's too much. It's too big. Don't do that. I want you to prove to yourself, not to me, you prove to yourself that you can go through a day without putting more in. That's all I ask. I don't ask you to get any out. I don't ask you to do some Herculean thing and handle all kinds. No. Don't worry about that stuff yet. I want you to see, can I go to school? Can I go to work? Can I come home? Can I go through a day? Can I talk to people? Can I get in an elevator? Can I drive? Can I have somebody driving in front of me? Right? Can I go through a day without putting more garbage inside of me that I was unable to handle? So I'm driving down the street, and I'm in a rush, and there's a driver in front of me, driving 15 miles an hour below the speed limit. All right? And I can't pass, double line, cars coming. What about that? What am I doing about it? Complaining. If I leave it to its own, he's going to complain, isn't he? Okay? He's going to have a bad experience. How can you have a bad experience? There's nothing happening. All right? You're causing yourself a bad experience. How about we don't do that? That's what I mean. Go through a day without putting more in there. Because I'm telling you, if you put it in there, next time you're driving down that street, all right, let's get real. You're driving down there, you're going to turn onto some street out there near where you live, and you're going to take a right, and you got behind a car. You let a car passed by and you got behind them, they were going slow. I'm telling you, next time you do that, you will look to the left and you will see a car starting to come, and you may literally go out in front of them so you have to be behind them. In other words, that thing affected your behavior. That thing is still in there. Okay? You may not drive down that road. You may, if you see a car that looks like that, you may choose to go another way. Right? What does that mean? It means it left a scar inside of you. It left what we call samskara. It left an impression inside of you that was negative, and now it's running your life. I'm asking you, I am begging you to make a video game out of this. Not an outer one, an inner one. Make it a game. Can I go through the day without putting more in there? I don't want more in there. If this guy's driving 15 miles an hour below the speed limit and I'm behind him, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to say, this is fun. Try 30 below. Come on, win the record. Do something to not just let this stupid thing that's gone on your whole life go on. Become, a witness. Become a watchman or woman that's sitting there looking at these things and saying, I don't need this inside of me. I'll just drive and then they'll turn and I'll be fine. And you work with yourself. I call that working with yourself, right? So you wake up and you realize, I'm going to work every day. I'm going to do better. That's all I ask. That's the technique I teach you. Every day. If you put more in there, don't worry about it. Just at night, let go. Do the best you can. But try. If you will do this every day to the best of your ability, wait till you see what happens. You will strengthen your core. You will strengthen you who's in there and not let these arbitrary things screw you up. And as you build the strength of being able to handle the uncomfortable situation of it's raining or it's hot or the driver's driving too slow, as you learn to handle that, then something bigger is going to happen. Let it go. Do the same thing. You're learning to handle things that you weren't able to do before. Not you didn't control them. You learned to handle them. Now they don't distract you as much. Pretty soon you're comfortable with the rain. Comfortable. You don't even notice it. It's fine. It's raining. Fine. Somebody else is freaking out. Why are you freaking out? It's raining. You got past it. And you'll get past it and get past it. And all of a sudden something from the past will come up inside of you. And you realize, I can handle this. That's true spiritual growth. You're literally building your soul. You're evolving your being. Now these things start to come up. Just handle them the same way as you did the driver in front of you. Same way as you did the rain. I call it relax and release. Just relax. How do you handle it? By relaxing. How do you not get distracted? By relaxing. Just relax. If you get involved in it, it'll distract you more. If you like it or dislike it, it'll distract you more. If you just relax, inside learn to relax. Relax. Just relax. It'll pass. All right? And pretty soon, you can start to get high. Well, what about meditation? Meditation is very good for helping you learn to be conscious so you remember to do this. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. In the morning, you remind yourself, this is what I'm doing. Learn to let go. If you can't let go when you're sitting alone in a dark room, you ain't going to be able to let go of stuff's going on up there. You're practicing letting go. At night, just sit down 15 minutes, and your mind's going to be full of everything that you didn't let go of today. Good. Clean out. Let it go. Relax. Just let it go. Well, how do I let it go? If there's a perfectly still, mirror still lake, and someone drops a leaf or a rock into it, what's going to happen? There's going to be ripples. It's going to make ripples. If you don't like those ripples, I'm going to tell you how to get rid of them. Relax. You said you'd tell me how to get rid of them. I just told you. Someone wrote, it's so cute. Somebody wrote us saying, I read the book. You just didn't give a technique. You talked about all this and everything, but you never gave a technique. Really? All right. Here's the technique for getting the ripples. Do nothing. There's no higher technique. Those ripples are going to go away by themselves. If you jump in to try to take the rock out, you made a lot of ripples. If you try to smooth it out with your hands, you made a lot of ripples. I don't care what you do. If you blow on it, you make ripples. There's nothing you can do that is higher than handling the ripples and relaxing. They'll go away by themselves. Same thing in there. If you come in, you had a tough day, and this happened, the boss said this and blah, right, and you sit down, you weren't able to handle it all, what do? Relax. No, what do? Relax. And you will allow the energy to dissipate, to unwind, to free itself. So it doesn't have to be inside of you. That's the deepest yoga. Just keep letting go. Well, what if now I let go and something really big's coming up? That happened 20 years ago. I'd forgotten about it completely. I thought I was done with it. Just relax. No, you don't understand. Yes, I do. I do understand. Believe me. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to relax in the face of that. Anything you do other than relaxing is a way of not having it come up. I don't want to handle this. I can't deal with this, right? Just do your best to relax. Don't judge if you can't. Just, I'm telling you, little by little, every day, do the simple things. When the bigger stuff comes up, try to relax. If you will do this, your entire life will change, period. And you will learn not to get distracted by the stuff the mind's doing, and you will more and more get involved in the moments in front of you. A bird will sing, and you'll feel ecstasy pour through your being. You say more than the bird, okay? Pretty soon, everything's sending you back in this beautiful place. And if someone leaves you alone, you're not afraid to be alone. You're alone, and all of a sudden you feel all this joy well up inside of you. Anyways, you're a beautiful being, every one of you. You're a beautiful being. You can have a beautiful life. It has nothing to do with your money, your age, or anything like that. It has to do with how centered are you in the core of your beautiful being, and how much you're able to handle the unfolding of life so you don't get distracted from either the core of your being or the oneness of the experience that's in front of you. All right. Jagrata.